The air in New Delhi is so polluted that black kites, the birds for which the city is famous, fall from the sky. A documentary about two Muslim brothers who've devoted their lives to nursing thousands of birds back to health is the only film ever to have won Best Documentary at both the Sundance and Cannes Film Festival, and has now been nominated for an Oscar and BAFTA as well.
When we got our first kite, I'd stay up at night staring at it. It looked like a furious reptile from another planet.
The film's called All That Breathes, and its director, Shaunak Sen, spoke to me.
Utterly not, really. It's like, it's the sort of thing that one wouldn't have imagined even in the wildest, farthest reaches of my imagination. But then, when you're making a film, you're sort of, so often it's a kind of fever dream, and you've jumped off a cliff that you just hope that it finds some kind of home.
How would you describe the film? How would you tell people what it's about?
I think the film can be thought of as a kind of ecological, political and emotional story of this one family and these birds, through which we tell a kind of broader story of a city. I hope anybody who's interested in either the ecological or thinking of human-non-human relationships, or really interested in an intimate story about a family that is living in troubled times, or about the socio-political complications in various parts of the world now. So it sort of dips into a variety of these different kinds of threads.
What seems extraordinary is that you were rolling the cameras on these two brothers for 3 years?
Yeah, it took about 3 years to shoot, which I have to confess is not extremely long given the standards of contemporary non-fiction films, creative non-fiction especially, because when you initially start shooting everyday life, the camera is a big obtrusive presence. Boredom is the biggest kind of weapon in the toolkit of a documentary filmmaker, because you have to essentially wait for a critical mass of boredom to arrive where, after a point, all of us kind of recede into becoming the wallpaper of their lives. So essentially you have to wait for the first yawn.
Now it's had such acclaim, your documentary. What difference has that made? Because I think, as I understand it, you're sharing the prize money you've received with the two brothers who you filmed.
Yes. So, I mean, in terms of, one hopes that that a film can also somewhat change subject's life. And yes, I do indeed share my prize money with them. So, which I think, I mean, if that were not to be the case, I would have some serious ethical compunctions, given that the whole film is premised on their lives. But having said that, I don't want to be simple-minded or simplistic in over-determining how much a film can change a subject's life. Because remember that what these people have decided is to really devote their life to a fairly singular and difficult objective. And I don't want to romanticize or overstate what a film can do.
So when you look at the big issues it's dealing with, pollution, obviously, the political situation in India for Muslims, you don't think it's going to make any difference?
Nobody walks out of the film without feeling utterly, in awe of the work that the brothers do. So hopefully it kind of, pushes a more zoomed out kind of a message of a kind of broader neighborliness or entanglement between different life forms, be it human and non-human, or between humans and so on, and not in a kind of woo-woo rhetorical way. You get a kind of concrete example of a very singular kind of life of extreme empathy, and which really foregrounds a kind of kinship or neighborliness between human and non-human life, and a kind of empathy for humans as well.